Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to my fish room where there's always a million things happening at once, but the energy here is always good. I'm Alex, and you're watching the World of Asian channel, and we have a lot to do today. Today is Wednesday, which means it is Water Change Wednesday, but there's also some stuff that I want to show you and kind of just document here and there, so let's get after it. As you can see, we have the South American forest flora biome builder in here from Beta Botanicals, and it looks absolutely stunning in my opinion. Super awesome. So I'm always on top of water changes, especially when it comes to this aquarium, because rummy nose tetras are very picky. Um, they don't like parameter swings, so I'm always on top of it. And water changes, in my opinion, are just a great way to keep things predictable. So this right here is my Rasbora Riverway Aquascape. We have exclamations in here as well as some Phoenix Rasboras. And this was a scape that I had scaped in my previous apartment, and then I brought it here to the new house. And during that process, a lot of substrate got moved around, and I think that is the reason for why we have so much algae in here. As you can see, there's a lot of hair algae in here, and a scape that was formerly relatively balanced, from what I had observed, had become just completely overwhelmed with hair algae, and I think that's because of a lot of the nutrients kind of coming up from under the sand in here. And as of lately, I've actually been cracking down on it. So we have a lot of Hygrophila angustifolia in here, which is a very nutrient-sucking plant. It just absorbs all the nutrients, and it's insanely fast-growing. I put some clippings in here, and it's been helping tremendously as far as keeping the hair algae under control. So that's what I have going on in here. I know this aquarium hasn't gotten a whole lot of screen time on the channel as of recent, but some of you have been asking about it, so here it is, and this is what's going on. And yeah, it's a work in progress, but I think it's actually looking pretty good again. So all right, I'm going to be doing some light maintenance on here. I'm going to get all these floaters out of here. These floaters were part of the algae removal effort. But I'm looking to kind of keep floaters out of here for the most part. Alright, so what's happening now is I'm just going to remove quarter, maybe a little bit more of the water. And then, well, we're doing a water change for one. But I'm also going to go ahead and do a physical removal of a lot of the hair algae in here. And then I'll go ahead and clean up the top a little bit, get all the crusty duckweed off the top, and then perhaps remove some more water so we can then move this tank to a new spot. I actually want to relocate this up onto the fish cabinet where the 20-gallon long is. Just using my little razor here. So as you can see, I'm scrubbing the algae on the surfaces of the driftwood with a toothbrush, and this is going to loosen up a lot of it. And what I'm going to do after this is I'm actually going to do another water change. I'm going to drain more water out of here. And this has basically been my process, kind of rinse and repeat for the last month, and it's really helped in cutting back a lot of the excessive hair algae growth in here. I pulled on a piece of hair algae that was connected to a piece of microsword, and unfortunately I completely uprooted the entire network. So that's not big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and do a water change promptly, and all that gunk that we agitated, I'm just going to get it out of there. And then I'm going to go ahead and replant this after we move the tank. So I'm going to get the water level lower so that way it's lighter, and I'm going to move it right here. So for me, the biggest reason why I want to move this aquarium to where I'm moving it, which is right here on this cabinet next to my Rummy Nose 20 gallon, is because I'll actually see it a lot more often if it's put here. For me, if an aquarium is out of sight, it's out of mind, and I'm less intentional with it. And my original intuition was to tear this tank down and completely start over and just not deal with the hair algae in the new aquarium. But you know what? I think this aquarium deserves a second chance because I actually really like it, and I want to see if I can pull this off, especially live on camera here. So that's why I thought I would document it, maybe see if I could learn anything for myself, and maybe you could learn something too from this process. I don't know. But I don't know, I just felt bad about completely gutting this aquarium and starting over. So that's why we're doing this, and hopefully moving it here will make it a lot more visible, and I'll just appreciate it more. Well, there's another lily pipe clip. Alright, so that was a bit of a debacle. I'm still using the regular lily pipe holder here, but back here, the one that broke, I'm using an Oase pipe clamp suction cup, and this is working a lot better. There's a lot more play here. So, you know, it's really crazy. Like, you just kind of tweak these ever so slightly and they just break like they're nothing. It's kind of wild. All right, we have the light, the filter all hooked up for the most part. I'm gonna go ahead and start filling up this aquarium now. Alright, so we have this thing filled up with water once more. The Rasboras are straight chilling. They're doing good. I should note, half the water that I put back in here was actually some of the water that I had taken out, since it was a larger volume water change. So all the water that I took out prior to scrubbing all the algae on the driftwood, that was actually the water that I had put back in. So, alright, we're here at the Green Neon Tetra Fluval Flex 15. This is probably one of my favorite aquariums in recent times. I absolutely love the way this thing looks. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and steal some plants from this. Also, for the record, since it's water change Wednesday, I'm also doing a water change on this aquarium as well. Alright, so since this Hygrophilon Angustifolia is basically folding over at the top since it's gotten so tall, I'm just going to cut it from the top. And we'll go ahead and replant this in the Rasbora tank. And we should be set. Honestly, every time I trim this plant, it just feels like I'm getting free plants because of how fast it grows. But not only how fast it grows, but how lush and dense this plant is in great quantities. I really do enjoy this plant a lot. Let me know if I should start like an online store and start selling some of these plants. I wasn't sure if anyone would be interested, but I'd be down. So I actually love Water Change Wednesday, despite all of the benefits that I talk about scientifically. Changing water every week forces me to be intentional and to notice things, and overall it just makes me appreciate things more. That's a byproduct that nobody seems to really talk about. We have our salvage from the Fluval Flex. I'm going to go ahead and start planting this in the background. I'm going to take my time with it, and yeah, I think this is going to look really cool. And And then I'm just going to go ahead and place all of our microsword here. And you know what's actually interesting is this microsword is actually doing pretty well. It actually did grow quite a bit. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to kind of spread it out a little more, kind of encourage more of the carpeting effect. Not that we'll really get carpeting in here, especially when we dim the light after the fact, but yeah, it might actually look a little more lush than before. So, and as I'm doing this, I'm just making sure that I'm getting all the algae off of here that was on here. It's kind of the reason why I have it in my hand in the first place, because the algae was kind of woven into it, and then I pulled the algae out and the microsword went with it. So microsword does actually prefer a deeper substrate. It is actually, it's a hardy plant in the sense that it tolerates a lot of different parameters. But it's fragile in the sense that if you don't have a deep substrate, it kind of gets uprooted really easily. I've had issues with microsword in the past, even without trying to remove algae from it just simply coming undone by itself, whether that be water flow that's too strong, or maybe I was doing a water change and I had too strong of a flow from the pump that I was using to pump water into, or whatever. Those are just a variety of examples, but an aquarium like this 2-gallon cube here where you know, there's not a whole lot of water movement at all, you know, because it's a no filter aquarium. The microsword, as you can see, is doing really well. And yep, I mean, it's just growing ever so densely, and it seems to really enjoy the lack of water movement. And lastly, we have some guava leaves as well as some hazelnut and oak twigs. These have already been prepared, so we're going to go ahead and add these in here. So for those of you who don't know, these are all botanicals from my good friend Ben over at Beta Botanicals. He supplies all of the botanicals, the twigs, and actually the manzanita wood that you were looking at here in this aquarium. And he is a big supporter of my channel. So if you're interested in any of the products that you are looking at, check out the link in the description below. And if you see anything that you like, use my code WorldOfWasian15 at checkout, and you will save 15% off your next order. So if you're looking to take your ecosystem to the next level, definitely go check them out. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and tint the water with some Beta tea here. So it's been about a week since I have done the renovation on this aquarium, and yeah, as you can see, it's not as tinted as it was in the last shot. But yeah, it's looking really good. All the Rasboras in here are doing really good, and the algae is not growing as quickly as it used to. And a lot of that is because, well, we did a really great physical removal job, and we also put more plants in here. And I have been running this light actually at half intensity. It looks a little bright right now, but that's only for video purposes. Full disclaimer, it's actually at half intensity most of the time. I just do this just so you can see what's going on. Before I sign off, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who watches my videos. It's been a long time coming. I think it's coming up on 3 years that I've been making videos about all my aquariums, and I have learned so much, whether it be from my own research and from you all in the comment section, and overall this community has been just a wonderful thing. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has stuck around. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching my videos. I'm not stopping anytime soon. Whoa! So thank you for watching my videos. Major says thank you as well. And yeah, every time you subscribe, Major gets another bowl of cat food.